Hey everybody, Zero here. Doing something a little different. Excuse me. I used to play Airsoft a couple years ago. I haven't recently, unfortunately, due to my health, but I wanted to talk about one of my favorite Airsoft pistols. Not the best pistol out there, but one of my favorites nonetheless. It's from WeTech, and it is the Biohazard Samurai Edge. It says standard model, but I don't know. I don't think it's a standard model. There's a picture on here of Chris Redfield's version. You can see it. That's actually Chris's Edge. And they have different variants. They have Chris's, they have Jill's, they have Barry's. And Tokyo Mari just released Wesker's, which I'd like to get my hands on. But this one is the all stainless version or all silver version. Not exactly sure who used it. I've come across some stuff. It looked like Rebecca Chambers used it, but there's there's conflicting information. If you guys know, or if somebody knows for sure, you can leave it in the comments below. I wasn't too sure with what I came across. So packaging is real basic. Wasn't very expensive, being a WeTech pistol, but it's actually a pretty good pistol. I've used it a lot. I've had it for quite some time now. It says it's gas, says new gas blowback right there, but it is gas blowback, which means it uses green gas, which is basically, from what I understand, it's like propane with some silicone oil in it and some kind of scented stuff. Packaging is really cool. It's pretty cool. They didn't have to do all this. It's got this insert here. This is Biohazard, and they've got the foam tray, which usually comes with Airsoft pistols, covered with a cloth. It was really cool presentation. It wasn't necessary, but they did it, and like I said, I thought it was really cool. So here we have the pistol, and the extra magazine I actually purchased myself. So when you buy this gun, it only comes with one magazine. If I'm not mistaken, I will check. Yeah. Got the instruction manual. Now, the instruction manual is not unique to the Samurai Edge. It's actually just an instruction manual, operating manual. So the basics, how to load the weapon, how to fire, use the weapon, fire the weapon, safety, all that stuff. Shows you how to break down the gun. And then they've got the blow up, the blown up, in case you're looking for parts or something like that. That's always good to have. Then the do's and don'ts with Airsoft pistols. So that's pretty standard with most. And again, it's a standard manual. I don't know if the new ones come with a WeTech manual dedicated to the Samurai Edge, but nonetheless, they're pretty much 92 FSs, so it's understandable, that they would just give you a standard manual. So there's only one magazine release on the left-hand side. It's because this is a right-hand gun. It has ambidextrous safety, but only a right-handed slide release and mag release. So we're gonna clear that. You guys can see there's nothing in there. It's empty. Gotta put that on fire in order to reset the hammer. So most of the functions are there. So you've got, your safe mode. You've got your fire mode. You know, but there's no decocker. I like on a regular Beretta, so you can't. You see, you can't actually decock the hammer. You actually have to do it the old school way. Slide release is a little longer than a standard Beretta one, but I believe that was kind of like the theme with these guns. It says Mod Samurai Edge, law enforcement only, on this side here. And then on the other side, it says Stars RPD Special Team with a serial number. Right on the slide there. Not sure if it picks it up. The light's a little bit washing it out. That's just because it's silver. But I really like the color of this. I like the finish. And I love the grips on this. The full wraparound grips. They actually, you know, they go all the way to the bottom where the magazine sits. You see that there? It's just a good solid feel. You know, it's a little thick, but it actually is really nice. Now it's supposed to be excuse me, it's supposed to be a wood with a tacky grip insert and a metal button that says Raccoon City Police Department or something like that. It's got the Stars logo. That side's really faded. Actually, they're both very, very faded. I may touch them up just because I'm going to use this mainly for display now, since I don't get to play too much. And that's kind of disappointing. It's electroplated, like gold and silver, but it has faded a lot through use. And like I said, every chance I got to do indoor CQB, zombie games, any type of games like that, I will use this pistol. So I have put it through the ringer. Again, it's not the greatest pistol out there. Not as accurate as some of the other ones out there that I've had, but it's a fun pistol. You know, it's always a conversation starter. People see it and automatically, oh, it's a Stars pistol. Is that Resident Evil? You know, and you, of course, you know, you get into a conversation about it. Very, very cool. You know, themed pistol. I'm glad that they did them. I know Tokyo Mari was the first to make them, and then Wii Tech basically copied them. You know, but I'm glad they did. You know, and I'm glad that Wii Tech made their copies because, to be honest, I just couldn't afford a Tokyo Mari, and I couldn't justify all that money for a plastic version of this. There's nothing wrong with them. They're actually really good. The Tokyo Maris are way better in internal quality, you know, but it's just too much money, you know. I believe they've come down in price. You might be able to find them a little cheaper, but again, you know, Wii makes the full metal version, so, and I believe most of the parts in this gun are compatible with every other Wii M92F. So, you know, it's not like you're going to be short of parts. But it's got serrations here on the front of the slide and the rear, depending on how, you know, you like racking slides. You know, when I got the gun, there was a lot of issues with the quality, the internal quality. So like, I'm going to show you, see if I'll catch it. See that there? That's just a catching point. You can still push it further, but you have to put a little bit more on it to push it further. You know what I'm saying? Like, it'll catch there sometimes. You know, and so I took the gun apart and I filed down where I found a bunch of burrs on the inside of the slide. And I don't, I don't think it was terrible. It just was something that was kind of frustrating. You know, that I had to deal with that. But I mean, it is what it is. It was like, I think at the time, 120 bucks for this gun. There's the guide rod. Barrel. So inside here, in these rails here, where the slide catches the frame, these rails in here, there was a ton of burrs, and it's real thin here. This plating is real thin, so I had to go in with like a diamond tip file and just kind of grind them out little by little. And obviously with use, there was a little bit more wear, and it was a little bit easier. It still catches, as you saw. It still does it. So and this is the thing with airsoft, is quality control. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get what you pay for, unfortunately. And if this is only $110, most of that went into the metal and the licensing to put the designs on here, unfortunately. And then again, it's nothing against the company. It is what it is. They're just putting the product out there for people to use. And like I said, they made an amazing copy of the licensed, the Resident Evil stuff. That I thought that was very cool. But quality wise, there are better guns out there. There are better airsoft guns out there. There's better, companies out there that put out a better product. But you're gonna pay. You're gonna pay that cost. So it goes together pretty simple. Comes apart just like a Beretta. Goes together just like a Beretta. That's not much different. Trigger pull and double action is a little heavy, but it breaks, and you can feel it actually lighten on the pull a little bit, and then you can kind of feel right where it's going to break, about right here. And then the single action is obviously even. There's a little bit of slack in the trigger. You see that? There's actually a lot of slop in the trigger. But you know what? That's not a surprise. There's the catch there. And then reset. Let's see if it'll do it. Not too bad. Reset's real close. So rapid succession on the triggers is doable, but form over function, I guess, because it is an airsoft pistol, and the faster you pull the trigger, the faster the gas is released, the less time there's for the magazine to rebuild up the pressure inside, so you start to lose performance. I have been able to get through a whole mag, not super fast trigger pulls, but successes, like consistent trigger pulling, but never been able to get through a whole mag. See that? That happens sometimes. That hammer will catch and it'll drop when you put the mag in. So you got to be careful when you're loading your pistols, especially when you're in a safe zone or something. And that's one of the things you get with Wii's. And I'm not dogging it. I'm just saying, my biggest beef with airsoft stuff is quality control. From one to the next, it's different. I may have issues with the slide on this one, and I could buy this exact same gun and it will have something else wrong with it, or something else will be a different issue. That's my biggest beef with airsoft stuff. It's like it's not consistent in quality control, and then that is actually damn near every company I've ever come across, with the exception, and I'm not tooting any horns here because I have owned some. Most Tokyo Marui, sorry, I'm not sure how that's pronounced, but anyway, most Tokyo Maruis are pretty much high quality control. They've got great quality control. Most the guns are the same across the board. All their hop-ups are specific. You know what I mean? They're very, very accurate. Their internal parts are are great. The externals are scrutinized really well. But some of the other companies, not so much. I own some KWAs, which are like top-tier training pistols right now. And I've had inconsistencies in those too. Their KWAs are great. I would take one over a Wii any day. But quality-wise, like I said, that's the biggest issue with airsoft guns, is quality. You're getting what you pay for, and sometimes it's not the same as the guy who paid for the same thing next to you. It is what it is. But like I said, I didn't get this because I knew it was going to be the top tier performer. I got it because it was a Resident Evil pistol. I'm a huge Resident Evil fan. I've got my nephews, my video game buddies, Eric, my nephew Fernando. They're huge Resident Evil fans, and I was like, I gotta get one, man. Especially when we started going to zombie games, I was like, yo, I gotta have my Stars pistol. I wear my Stars patch, my BSAA patch on my jacket. There's a fan base there for me. A bit of a nostalgia. I'd like to get some of the other ones, just so I could have a nice collection of Resident Evil pistols. Again, not because they're high performers, but because they're visually, they're awesome. If I could do this to my Beretta, my real steel Beretta, I probably would. Brigadier slide, wraparound grips, reinforced trigger spring, lightened hammer spring, skeleton hammer. I do a bunch of different things to my Beretta, and I'm still actually, I probably will, but that'll take some time. But these Brigadier slides are pretty cool. On the real steel, they were designed to compensate for, overpowered rounds, high-powered rounds, plus P loads, so that the Beretta could handle them. But they're very expensive and hard to come by because of it. So, but yeah, that's the WeTech Resident Evil Samurai Edge, or Biohazard, depending on where you're from. Samurai Edge. They say it's a standard model, but that's the box. I don't think that's the right box. But if you guys know who actually used the all silver version, let me know in the comments below. I think it's Rebecca Chambers, but I don't know for sure. I know a lot of them got them, because of Barry's work with Kendo. But I don't know who used them all and who kept them all. I know Chris had one, and I think he had his still in 5, and so did Wesker. But yeah, let me know if you guys know. But that's my thoughts. Great gun, awesome if you're doing cosplay, or if you just want a standalone piece, just for display, for conversation starting. You're a Resident Evil fan, here you go. Quality wise, performance wise, if you're running gunning, it's not the best. I wouldn't put this in my holster, for full on like airsoft, or competitions or anything like that. If you're doing zombie games, sure, it's fun. That's what it's for. It's a good gun, it's fun, but performance wise, training wise, I wouldn't use this gun. I actually have a professional training pistol, which like KWA makes, and I have it because it's exactly the same as my N92F. Functions are all the same, decocking and everything like that. Form is exactly the same as mine. So when you're training with a pistol that you're using to train yourself for real steel, you should have the exact same model, all the same attachments, all the same, you know, things you put on your real steel, you should put on the airsoft one, so that all your muscle memory is the same, you know. But that's another video for another time. Like I said, the WeTech Samurai Edge pistols, they're fun pistols. They're really fun to use, but you know, quality-wise, they're not going to be the best. So you have to be okay with that for the money you're spending. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Leave any comments in the comment section below. Obviously, if you guys have this pistol, if you like them, if you enjoy them. If I can, I'm gonna try to get a hold of the Barry Burton version. I'd really like to get a hold of that one and do a review on that. I'll let you guys know. All right. Thanks for watching.